They're meant to save our lives in an accident, but an airbag fault in over 3 million Japanese manufactured cars has forced a worldwide recall. Many of you have been getting in touch with your reaction to this story. Joe in the United States had a couple of them throughout the years, never had any problem with them so far. Russ in the UK says, we bought a second-hand CRV 2 years ago. This will be the third or fourth recall. There was a time when Japanese cars were the last word in quality. Kerry emails, I'd rather have my car recalled and sorted than have a car with a fault and it not be recalled. It's a minor inconvenience for safety. So let's consider those wider questions of safety. With me is Fidelis Mba from BBC Africa and BBC Russian's Yuri Zhiravel. Have you had similar instances like this in Africa of cars being recalled? Or do you not find many cars with these safety bags, you know, the inflatable bags?
Well, the interesting thing is I can't even imagine, like in Nigeria, for instance, where I come from, people talking about cars being recalled. Because I know that people look forward to some of these cars, if you even give them the opportunity, provided they can actually more like get them at a cheaper rate. Because when these cars are maybe recalled and maybe they have to be fixed again and sold, so people are more bothered about how good the car looks and if it's rugged enough for them to be able to drive along. Not really the issue of airbags. Yeah, a few people are bothered about airbags, but the major concern is this car roadworthy to be able to move on the road?
So they're more concerned about getting from A to B than some of the finer points of car safety.
Yeah, people are actually, because like when accidents happen, accidents are, more like a daily thing in Nigeria and, and other African countries. People are more bothered, what they blame it on is either that the roads are filled up with potholes or that maybe excessive speeding. People don't really go back to look at how good was this car that the person was driving and was the car in a very top shape before, he actually it was put on the road.
And Yuri, what about the experience in Russia?
Well, Russian car manufacturers would, I think, grudgingly admit that the quality of the product is not top-notch compared to other manufacturers. And certainly Russia's safety record on roads is quite bad as well. But sometimes it's also not only because of the cars in question, because nowadays the big manufacturers do recall their cars in Russia. It's a normal practice, and Russian manufacturers do as well lately. But sometimes people just don't use seat belts themselves.
So it's the attitude, the problem is the drivers, not the cars?
In many cases, yeah, absolutely. Problem is totally attitude. When you get into a car, well, if you hitch a lift, which is common practice in Moscow, for example, for just cash, in an unlicensed cab, or probably even in a licensed one sometimes, people will look at you strangely if you fasten your seatbelt and ask, why don't you trust the safety of my driving? Well, I usually say, well, I do trust you, but I don't trust the others around there.
A very good answer. The other thing in Russia, of course, is they often have cameras mounted on the dashboard in case there is an accident so that they can prove to the insurers, well, it wasn't my fault.
Yes, absolutely. It is mainly for insurance purposes and also to prove who was guilty on the road, because some people just take to the wheel without necessary skills. Some are unfit to drive, and you really need these cameras sometimes.
OK, both of you, thank you very much indeed for being with us. We're going to stick with cameras, not in cars this time.